This is Elizabeth Stanley. She has a lot of background in recruiting and higher education. She's also worked with government agencies that help schools try to improve their enrollment process. And she's going to tell us about some of the things she's learned about Austin Grad and where she's going to lead us in recruiting and how we can have a part in that. Elizabeth?
You clap now. Great. Good morning, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here this morning, and I love the testimony of our student auditor when they walked through the door and introduced themselves as Todd Hall's parents. It's like, you've got to be kidding. You guys are beautiful. And so it's an honor to be in your presence. I'm so happy to be here, and I do believe that I was led here by God. I was working and just thinking, okay, Father, you've given me all these skills and abilities, and I've had this incredible background. What is it that you would have me do with that? And I was just really praying and seeking God because I had taken a break from higher education. I traveled quite a bit in my previous life and no longer wanted to do that as a mother, and wanted to be with my parents more as opposed to always on the road. And so I was really seeking God to understand what His will was. And I just did a Google search, randomly. Well, it's not randomly, but I typed in seminary. So I was thinking, what kind of environment do I want to work in? And what kind of people do I want to be around? Because I really do believe in quality of life. And I was thinking, the kind of environment that I would want to seek and just where I'd be happiest. And so I searched Google for seminaries in Austin. And I would love to say that Austin Grad was the first one that popped up on the page, but it wasn't. So I had to scroll, and I scrolled, and the only school that I clicked on was Austin Graduate School of Theology. And in visiting the webpage, I really became more and more intrigued and saw it on a Thursday, submitted my resume out that next Friday, and then had an email response from the president saying that he had received it and was going to be looking at it, etc. I was really surprised that he would be so responsive, because usually it's someone else that's given the responsibility of doing all that lower level work, right? And so, long story short, I'm here, and I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. And yes, in my church tradition, we use music as a form of our worship. But I was thinking, when I first heard you all sing, man, if we sounded that good, we wouldn't have any instruments, but we need to mask our sound because it is not that pleasant. But anyway, I know that my time is short up here, but I wanted just to give you a little sense of my background. I've been doing this for a little over 23 years. I was honored when someone asked, "Are you a new student?" So it looks like I'm fairly young, but I'm really not that young. But this is my passion. I've worked with a number of organizations in various capacities, either as their director of admission, the person who was over enrollment for the university. I was at St. Edward's for a while. They're still using the plan that I wrote to double their enrollment, and they're now Associate Vice President over Enrollment Management is my colleague who I trained, and still am very close to today. But I've done that for a number of institutions across the country, but never for a seminary. And so when I got here, the first month was really focused on understanding who the Church of Christ is. And the more I learned about you all, the more I understood about my own tradition and the similarities. And so I like to say that I'm a cousin not that far removed. But I did that because I really, if you're going to market and if you're going to recruit for an institution, you have to understand who they are. And understanding our heritage is most important. Beyond that, I had to really understand who Austin Graduate School of Theology was, our faculty, our students, the students who have come and not persisted, the students who chose not to attend. I haven't gotten to those yet, but they're on my list. I've spoken to a number of people as I've really fleshed out my understanding of who Austin Grad is, what it is that we believe, and what it is that we're here to do. And so with that, I do believe that there are a number of people who would love to know our story and be a part of us, but they just don't know who we are. And so as we are doing that type of research, I've also been looking at ways to market, ways to build enrollment by expanding our prospective student base and actually putting in place a system of recruiting, we have really used all the resources that we've had. And I really want to commend Todd Hall and Don. Would you guys just stand up for a second? After Lauren left, the responsibility of recruiting fell to those two. It's not like that they had nothing to do. They were quite busy. But I've watched their earnest effort, and because of their efforts, we have 10 more students enrolling this semester, this fall semester, than we've had. And so they by themselves are turning our cycle of trending downward, they've turned it around. And I'm here to expand on their work. But I want to congratulate them because they've done a tremendous job, and they've been very faithful in all of their responsibilities, and the added ones they accepted so gracefully. But what we really need to put in place in order to sustain the high touch that Todd and that Don have put into effect is a system where our students that we're recruiting or attempting to convert into matriculants are not lost. And so we're looking at changing the technology that undergirds our recruitment process. It's quite an undertaking, but these are the things that we're doing this semester so that it will be in place in order for us to start recruiting in earnest for the beginning of the spring semester. But with these communications, with the strategies that we're putting in place, and even the redesign of our website and the new functioning of our website, it will enable us to attract prospective students and put them in a stream of communication where we're not losing track of them. It will be diversified depending on if they're seeking a bachelor's degree versus a master's degree, or a student who's interested in coming to take courses by credit, but they just not maybe want to pursue a degree, but maybe some other type of education that they have in mind. The faculty are thinking creatively about ways that we can put together possibly certificate programs, or I'm not sure, whatever their great minds are going to come up with, but we're looking at ways that we can maximize what we already have in place. And so in looking at the high tech that we are seeking to implement this semester, that will enable us to be high touch even more so as we seek to develop relationships with communities of believers that we've not previously spoken to, or to really give attention to those communities that we are in relationship with, but we haven't had the time or the understanding of how to really recruit those individuals to this campus. And so it is going to be all hands on deck. And so as you are friends and family of the institution, I am going to want you to engage with me. You know this campus, and you know the things that we are capable of, the things that we've already done. We can do so much more, but we're going to need help identifying these students, getting them into our recruiting process, and really being able to show them how they will benefit, how their lives will be improved by their relationship with Austin Grad. And so, Elizabeth Stanley, my email is estanley@austingrad.edu. If there's someone that you speak to that you think would be interested, that I should give a call to, I want to know about them. If there are individuals that you guys would like to begin recruiting yourself, I will soon have materials or collateral that you can give them. We want to empower you to help us, and in turn, we help the kingdom, because we do need to have increased Bible literacy. My colleague, Jim, has really pinpointed that as a message for us, and he'll speak more to you about that. But we have a lot of great things going on. It's an exciting time. I think that all of you can be enthused, but I want you more than just being enthusiastic. I want you to help us. And so we will be mailing out to you very shortly collateral that you can use in helping to share the word about Austin Grad. And any questions that you have, or if you start the process and can't finish it, then send them my way. I'm still learning a lot of answers, and you might know more of them than I do right now, but that won't be for long. Thank you all very much.